Hey, and welcome again to video number 9. I think I'll do like 10 videos, so one more after this one. In this video I will be trying to make a zebra. I found this probably AI prompted image of a zebra, and I figured it's a really cool way to show its stripes. I mean, I've tried to make zebras before, because my daughter really likes them, but they always turn out to be a horse. Pretty much all the wood I use for my carvings are general offcuts that are less than 30 centimeters. So they're too small to fit to a thickness planer, or planer or whatever, any bigger tools. So they are offcuts from a big construction company. And I just try and fit them together. Then it just takes a bit of luck of having them being the same size and proportions and actually flat, or no weird grooves made into them. My shop space isn't the biggest you could hope for, so I don't actually own any tools to make something truly flat and square. So my best bet is just to hope that the pieces that I have are flat enough to glue together. Since they are quite small, I try to make up for it with a lot of clamping force, and then hope for the best. The printer is a new tool, could call it that way. I wanted one for years, but they are quite expensive for what they are. I found this one on a local marketplace for like 20 euros. So I got it right away, and it's really helpful to make templates. Who could imagine that? To be warned, I'll show you my bandsaw. You will notice that the blade is flexing all over. Yeah, it's the worst bandsaw you could buy, but even then it's still really useful. So right now the zebra is made up out of 2 parts. I did it this way, so one I would have I didn't own a single piece that would be thick enough to actually make it a zebra of this size. The second, I want to make the inside hollow. So I want to remove as much as I can to have cut out right now, because it would save me a lot of effort down the line. It would also give me something to aim for when making all the cuts in it. Just so, you know, they all align kinda. But I also don't want to cut away too much, because then I don't want to find this hollowness inside his head, but I'm still shaping the head itself. So, I don't know, I hope this will be enough. Then the biggest downside to this strategy, I need to make them flat enough to glue them together. My tabletop isn't, well, my bench is made out of random pieces of oak, so it's not flat at all. Never really needed it to be flat, except for this use case. So I had seen a few people use this technique with sandpaper glued to something that's actually flat. It just, I don't know, it works, but it's not fun. And I guess that will do. Time for a bit of glue, and then a shitload of clamps. Well, all clamps I actually own. Yeah, sorry for the video, but that was the end result. Most of it is glued well, except for the ears. And I hope that if I dig a little deeper inside to, when I'm shaping the ears itself, that it will be fine. So we'll see. Yeah, and then it's time for the general shaping. Don't mind the beautiful drawing I made on it again. As you can see, drawing is my passion. A bit of random info, but the spot my vices in, I'm really happy with it. It gives me access to my carvings from almost 360 degrees without having to sacrifice that much shop space. Started with the neck hair first. I think I did it because it's a lot of wood that needed to be removed, and I like to do all of that with the die grinder to get it off as fast as I can. When using the die grinder, I do get quite impatient. I just want to get it done. Like my gut tells me that more wood disappearing faster is better. So I always have to watch myself that I don't cut away too much. I just find it really satisfying to see the wood disappear over time. I think it might release a shit ton of dopamine in my brain. That's why I like removing water, like removing it a lot. Might just be me. But it also helps that this is Iroko. And Iroko has a really, really nice smell to it. Except that some of the pieces are softer. Like usually I just carve in mahogany. And mahogany is consistently strong throughout. But the Iroko is... Some pieces are really, really solid. And some of it's just butter. Like, it's like basswood. You just go to it in an instant. But it's a fun wood to work with. Maybe I just didn't have enough pieces of mahogany that would be the same size to make a carving like this. No, that's not true. I do. I'm just saving them for video number 10. Yeah, at this point it is starting to look like a horse. I also test this on my clients, so usually kids. I just ask them what this is, and if they tell me it's a cow, then I did a bad job. If they tell me it's a horse, I'll say I did a good job. And in this instance, most of them call it a horse. So I went with it. It's just, you need the stripes for a horse to become a zebra. And that's why I really like this AI image of the zebra that I found. Because the cutouts would then be the stripes. And I tried it before. I once tried to make a tiger, which I did 3 attempts and they just turned out to be either dogs or cows. Or a lion, like making a tiger out of wood without adding the color and the stripes and the white in its eyes. It just becomes something else, but not a tiger. At least not for kids. I'll call it something else. Never a tiger until I painted it. But I don't like painting it. So yeah, I hope this will turn out to be a zebra. The fun part out of using kids to validate if your carving is what you wanted it to be. They'll never lie. They never tell you it's a tiger when it isn't, or a zebra when it isn't. They will always be honest. At least up until some age. So just carving in the details. I always struggle a lot with the eyes and the shape of the nose. Always feels like a bit of a guess of how it should look like. You know it when it's wrong. Trick is getting it right. So I think this is fine. This is a horse, and now I want to make the stripes to turn this horse into a zebra. It's almost like how I made the lamp in my video number 8. Just drill holes, make holes bigger. Just a lot more of it in this zebra. And I'm really happy that I went through the effort of making it hollow, well, partly hollow inside already, because it really helped for the hole drilling. That you could feel when you push through, you would be inside the hollowness. So you aimed right, so you kind of know where to aim, and you wouldn't be drilling too deep, so you would hit the zebra on the other side. So yeah, I'll skip the rest, but here she is. The collets tend to turn loose with this bit and applying that much force. So I tightened it a bit too well. I did this before, but then I just bought a new, I don't know what it's called, drill chuck thingy for the Dremel. But yeah, I decided to try and get it out. Just as a note for my future self or anyone else. to get rid of all the wood dust before you do this. Yay, I fixed something. 3 weeks went by between this shot and the last. I got busy with work, so I didn't have any time to do any carving. Usually between private life, work life, and my hobby carving stuff out of wood, I have like 2 hours a week. Sometimes I have 4 hours a week. So that's really the time in which I have to get my carvings done. But I'm happy with the time I have, and I'll take any minute I can get. So right now, last session was just making all the stripes and the general cutout, but they are really rough. Like the bit makes a lot of nasty cuts and rough areas that I need to get rid of. So I'm just using the cuts off flame burr to make everything a bit more smooth, and also make sure to remove the first layer, because the drill bits and the Dremel bit I used, they tend to really rip out the fibers of the wood, so there's a really nasty ripped out surface area that you can't sand down. You just have to get rid of it to be left with a proper layer of wood again. Yeah, sometimes my aim was a bit off, so I might have drilled or Dremeled into a piece of wood that I actually wanted to keep, but there's no way of adding it back, at least not without spending too much effort. So that just makes and shapes the end result that I have, and I just hide it, so nobody will ever know. The flame burr was actually quite handy for this process. It was almost long enough to reach inside, and then I could use the round over bit at the end of it to actually round over the wood parts on the inside of the zebra to really give them a nice effect. And I kind of underestimated this effort on the lamp project number 8. So in the end result, you would be able to see like a few rough edges on the inside of the carving, and I wanted to avoid that on the zebra. But I don't know, I might not be able to actually reach all elements. Sanding it will be fun, but it's a tough one, because you can't really reach or get the angles you want. So what I'm saying is, project number 10 will be something else than this. Let's skip to the fun parts now. The flame burr was getting too big. The holes in its face are too small, so I needed this smaller bit. I think it's a carbide cutter. I don't know. It was cheap. It's a bit more aggressive, and it actually pulls itself in. So yeah, I'm happy I didn't snap the flex shaft. Hey, that's its name, flex shaft. So I'm happy I didn't snap the flex shaft on this. It happened quite a few times. And as you can see, the bit is just barely hanging on to the chuck. It's like 3 millimeters of it is inside. Then that happened. Kind of ruined my day. So I spent an hour, and then I had to glue this, so I lost the other hour for this week. So from now on I'll just have to go a bit more slowly. Oh well, it's nothing a bit of glue can't fix. After this, the biggest thing to do is sanding it. It's so boring to put in a video. After sanding for like 12 hours, just 80 and 150 grit. The sunlight will show me a lot of spots that I missed. I think I said it before, but drilling the holes, it's fast, but it also rips out a lot of fibers in the wood. So if you start sanding it, you will find those ripped out fibers again. Then you have to sand through them until you meet solid wood again. Next shot is after 12 more hours of sanding with these same grit sizes. It looks quite alright on video, but all the smaller nooks and crannies, you can still find so many dents and spots I still have to sand out. I'll skip all that, but just to give you an idea of how much time goes into sanding versus carving. Osmo shiny hard wax again. I think it's fine. To be honest, I don't think it looks any better than just applying boiled linseed oil, at least not on the Iroko. It is, however, a lot more effort to get on there, and you really have to rub it in. Like on a tabletop, you would be using a sander. I don't have a sander, I have fingers. Just to remind myself for next time, use gloves. It took you 2 hours to wash this off your hands. End of reminder. Later on I will redo all of this for a second layer. But for now, the sun is gone, but here you have a first look after finish. I didn't have anything to record, so here's the final piece. So yeah, sanding did pay off. Thanks for watching. Bye.